still in Magdala, very close to the dock of the port. Let me show you where it is, and then we will enter to the church. Sorry about the noise, but you can see what I'm walking on. You know what? I will do that later on. They're going to close the church in about 20 minutes, and I want to enter there just before we are leaving. Then the name of that church is Duc in Altum. Jesus told the St. Peter, he say, go far, go into the sea. You will find the fish there, but you will find your faith as well, like double meaning. It was built lately. I'm now in 2021. I'm talking about 7-8 years ago. And that church is dedicating to all the women in the world, especially to the women who lived in the time of Jesus. We just entered to here, and you can see how beautiful it is. Together with the water here, you can feel the holiness of it. It's like the wound of a woman, and Betty, it's dedicated here. There is a sentence here of the importance of the women, but the most important place here is those columns. Every column is dedicated to one of the figures of the New Testament. And Mary Magdalene, for me, is such an important woman. One of the importance of Mary Magdalene now, this time, is that at the past, from the 6th century, she used to collect all the sins of women, and to one figure, to Mary Magdalene. Today we know that Mary Magdalene was an amazing woman. Where's the inscription? Is that column dedicated to you? Yes. It's dedicated to any woman in the world. Women power. Martha. Salome. Such a beautiful thing. And that pattern reminds us the synagogue that was found here. Let's enter to one of the chapels, and I'll do it a little bit quicker. And remember the kind of rosetta that is a symbol of that place. Mainly because we will talk about it when we reach the synagogue. And here you can see Mary Magdalene. She's not a sinner anymore. The Bible mentions Mary Magdalene as a woman with 7 demons. And you can see it here. But I see her as the most devoted woman to Jesus. Here you can see the snake that lives a body. You can see the fear of the dog. And she's now 100% cured. But I believe, and I hope that I'm not actually saying something that will offend you, that she was a strong woman. She lived in a rich village. She was a rich woman. She decided to leave everything and to be devoted to him. Who saw Jesus when he was crucified? The disciples or Mary Magdalene? Who saw Jesus on Sunday? The disciples or Mary Magdalene? Then in that case, I adore Mary Magdalene. And look at remember the Sistine Chapel? God is touching the hand of the first man. It's similar, isn't it? God is touching the soul and the purity of Mary Magdalene. Now let's go into the church that looks so different than any other church that I know in Israel. It's facing to the east like most of the churches. But it doesn't look like a Catholic church. Where are the 14 stations of the Via Dolorosa? Not really exist. Instead of it, you can see the 12 disciples. Now the question was, what are we going to do with Judas? Judas, the one who will betray Jesus. Then the first idea, the first impression was to delete him from the map. But then they said, Judas was here, still loyal to Jesus at the time that Jesus been in the Galilee. Then what's the differences? Look at the sign of the holy, the horror around every disciple, except of one. And you can see him with the 30 coins. You can see that saint is not. Look at the beautiful windows that, for me, it's actually described the storm in the Sea of Galilee, but at the same time, it's calm. And the altar, yes, you got it. In Genosar, kibbutz nearby, they found a boat from the time of Jesus. This is their replica of it. But where is the cross? There's no cross here. Yes, there is. Here it is. And what is the white curtain? That is the shroud that Jesus was buried in it. Not that one, the idea. Which actually tells us that he didn't die. He resurrected. Then it's a symbol of resurrection, not a symbol of death. And I think you know what you will find here. True, the holy bread. Again, we have like a few minutes. He already closed the doors. And let's go down to show you something else. And I hope that he will let me do that. If not, next time. Everything is closed because of Corona. Let us see the storm in the Sea of Galilee. And Jesus walking on the water. And who is just there? St. Peter, who lost his faith. He actually started. He walked in the water, on the water too, for a minute. Beautiful mosaic. And let's go down for just a minute. That's the way to the toilet, but not only. There's a wonderful room, part of the dock of the Sea of Galilee, and we will talk, we already talked about the importance of that place of Magdala. Then the stones are from that time, but look at that. It looks like a synagogue. It is. It's Protestant can pray there as well, but it's a replica of the synagogue. And what's here? One of the most beautiful paintings that I saw about the lady with blood issue that touched the clothes of Jesus. Now, she will not touch the body of Jesus. She is not allowed. She touched the clothes, and we believe that she touched the talit. And EJ, that's the reason I bought you the talit. Because when the woman touched Jesus' clothes, she was cured because she believed in him. A woman won't touch the body of the man at that time, especially if it's not her husband. Then here it is. Amazing, isn't it? Magdala was important, the city of Mary Magdalene, because of so many reasons. First of all, it's on the highway, the way of the sea. Then Excellent location. Secondly, lots of fresh water, not including the Sea of Galilee, which is a freshwater lake. Thirdly, it's such a good fertilized land. Look at that. It's so green, and we are now in 93 degrees Fahrenheit, 33 degrees Celsius, and it's the end of October. Then you can understand that it's still hot and still beautiful and green. And what about fish? And another secret, they knew one of the secrets of salting a fish. At the ancient time, if you catch a fish, you had to eat it immediately. But if you salt it, then you can keep it for weeks. Then here there were storerooms and the first dock, and later on another storerooms and a second dock, mainly because the Sea of Galilee depends on the rain and the rivers, especially the Jordan rivers, but other rivers who actually enter to the Sea of Galilee. Then, for example, until 2 or 3 years ago, the sea level was so low, and now it's almost reached the peak. Then that was the dock at the time of Magdala. Beautiful, isn't it? You can see the road, the shops, storerooms, and the water reached here. It's all started when they wanted to build kind of a guest house for pilgrims. A good one. Then the legionaries of Christ bought that land, and before you're building something in Israel, you actually excavate, because usually there's something beneath it. And they did it, and soon we will be in the other side of the guest house, and we will see exactly what they found. We'll see you in about 3, 2, 1 at the other side. They found that. Now that was a curse for the legionary, because they wanted to build a place here, and they were sure that they would find nothing. But they found something. At the beginning they were very disappointed, because they realized that they found a synagogue. And if they found a synagogue, it means that they won't be able to build, at least on top of it, anything. That they had to change everything. But then they discover something special, something else. They discover here a coin that was just on the floor before they built the synagogue, or when they built the synagogue, and it was from 29 AD, 1st century. If it's from 29 AD, it means that Jesus was alive and in that area, and it means that Mary Magdalene might use that as well. The minute they realized it, they knew that they found a treasure that belongs to the Jews and for the Christians as well. Then let's describe the synagogue. Let me tell you that the synagogue at the time wasn't a house of prayer. People used to study here. It's a mingling area. They read the Bible, but the only place to pray, or the most important place to pray 3 times a year, was at Jerusalem. Then in that case, Betty and EJ, we found a different kind of synagogue before the destruction of the temple. After the destruction of the temple, they used that synagogue until now. They're using the synagogue as a house of prayer. Then the first room was for study. It can be for women, it can be for children. You can see the benches around, people used to sit there. And then that stone is very important, because you can see that there's 2 stripes. The other side, maybe the scroll, the Torah scroll, was read about it there. Can be, isn't it? Another thing that they found is that stone. Can you see the stone in the middle? Now that is a replica. And let me show you another replica of it, but it will be easier for us to see it. We starting to understand what it is. Maybe it was a base for the Torah stand. You know, the Jews must read the Torah 3 times a week. Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Then they found that beautiful stone, and they started to ask what it is. Oh, this is the coin that they found. Let me know that it's from 29 AD. The most important thing that they found here is that you can see the menorah. And why it's important? Because we found some menorahs like that. Because the one who designed it, the one who did it, saw the real menorah at the temple. Then he knew how to deal with it, how to curve it, which is a very important issue. What we believe is that that was a view to the Holy of the Holy. The incense altar is here, for example. That's what we believe, but we're not sure. And the menorah is there. We found the Rosetta here, and that's before Mary. Then in that case, it's a symbol of that place. We don't know if it's a trade symbol or there's a meaning for it, but we use it. I mean, they use it to publish that place. And look at that. It might be the part of the entrance of the temple, but you can choose to have different versions of interpretation. Wills. We know that wills, and maybe that is a will as well, describe the Shekhinah, the Holy Spirit, that left the temple, went up. Elijah did it too. Then it might be part of it as well. Then there's so many speculation, but what we believe is that the one who did it knows the temple quite well. And you can see the palm trees here and there. So many visions. Some believe that it might be the wings of angels as well. Whatever you want, I trust you. Now let's continue. Let me show you something special here at the synagogue, and then show you something that I see it as a miracle. Then let's make a round tour. Let's go to the other side. And in 2009, they found the Magdala stone. What they actually realized later on, that the Jews destroyed. And they destroyed before Titus came to here, because that place was outside. That synagogue was outside the city. The city walls were there. We don't know why. We believe that if that area later on, I mean behind it, was kind of a market, then a lot of Jews went here, and it's quite hot here, winter and summer time. Then they actually built a synagogue for them to rest, to deal, to talk. Maybe. Here you can see the beautiful mosaic, and remember the pattern that we saw on the floor of the church, in Altum church. Here it is. This is the original. But another thing that you can see here is that the Jews used to sit around. And that's true to most of the synagogues at that time. And even later on, the idea of the synagogue is to argue. The Jews have so many opinions, and if you will read the New Testament, you will find it too. It's not that they hated Jesus. I mean, I think that someone took it to the extreme, but they had so many questions that everyone actually asked themselves. There wasn't only one Judaism, one way of Judaism at that time. There were so many: the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Essenes, Samaritans. There's so many ways to see it. And another one, I want you to understand that it was owned by rich people, and you will see who were those rich people soon. But I want you to see that it wasn't black like that. It wasn't such a simple like that. This is the local stone, the basil stone. They cover it with plaster, and look at the colors. They painted it. It was beautiful, and it's very similar to the time of the most important, well-known city. Forgot. Destroyed by the volcano. Well, it's too hard for me to remember. I've been there. Italy. Come on, help me. Pompeii. Yes, you're right. That everything was color, and you can see mosaics floor as well. Let's go out of the synagogue that's been destroyed. Let me go back. It's been destroyed because it wasn't so important issue to protect the city. I mean, they wanted to protect the city, but not by that. Then they cover it with sand. They use some of the stones to build the wall against the Romans in 66 AD, and around that amazing stone, they actually cover it with different kind of stone, that a kind of sand. They knew that if they will come back, they will reach that place later on. I mean, they believed in it. They will excavate it, and they will destroy. They will know exactly where is that stone. They won't destroy it. Now you can see a street from east to west. Maybe that's the Comanos. And here you can see some shops, but it's not a regular shop. I already mentioned that if you are a fisherman, if you want to keep the fish for more than 2 weeks, more than 2 hours actually, you have to salt it. And that village knew the secret of salting fish. The only one in that region. Then all the boats from Capernaum, from Tabcha, from En-Gever today, from all over the Sea of Galilee reached that area. Tiberias is not so far away. You can see the houses of Tiberias. Then here they did it. There's 1, 2, they didn't uncover it, they didn't excavate it. Then there's few, and this is one shop. This is another shop. And we had 22 like that in that area. The last place there is actually stairs that goes down and reach the water, and with the water and the salt they used to salt the fish here. Amazing, isn't it? Now, if Mary Magdalene was here, I mean, that was her village, and we know that Jesus actually prayed in so many synagogues, and he knew her. Then can we imagine that he was here too? I believe that he was here, and especially in that village, because he knew Mary Magdalene, and it was in Jesus' land as well. Then yes, I believe that it is. This is part of the wall that the Jews built against the Romans at 66, and you can see that they actually sealed the main road. Is it beautiful or not? Did you know about Magdala before? I'm almost sure that not, because they excavated lately, and when you've been here in Israel, you didn't visit the village of Mary Magdalene. Now let's go to see something so special for me, and then we will say goodbye. But on the way, I want you to see the beautiful hotel, which is full with Israelis because there are no tourists yet. And until we reach the place that I want you to see, let me ask you to subscribe my channel. And if you want to talk with me, you can do that via YouTube. I'm trying to answer every question. And at the description, you will find my Instagram, professional Instagram, my professional Facebook. And from tomorrow, from yesterday evening, we might call it Mata or Meta. Remember, they changed the name, and that shows you that they're still excavating here. Well, we are. This is one of the neighborhoods. Now, can you see the faraway trees there? That is the Franciscans area of Magdala, but that was Zahi. Zahi was a city that was built at the 3rd century BC, and it was mainly non-Jewish place, but the Jews, especially the aristocrat, the rich one, decided to build themselves a neighborhood next to them. And this is the neighborhood. This is a rich neighborhood of Jews who moved to here. I believe that the priests that lived here, that lived there to Archei city and came to here. Why? Because it's rich. It was built for rich people. Secondly, there are mikvahs, a ritual, Jewish ritual bath that usually every man uses and every woman, but to find it in your house, it's only by people who are rich, and that is maybe the tzaddikists, the priest of Israel. I have 24 families. Some of them were at the Galilee, and we found a lot of stone vases, stone glasses. And if it's stone, which is very difficult and very expensive to build, it means that it will always be pure. Even if it will, I don't know, if a pig, a pork, bacon will touch it, which they didn't, if they're rich, they will clean it and it will be pure. If it will be from clay, they will have to throw the clay dish. Then let's go to that street, and you will see that there is even a sewage canal there. It's not only sewage, because all the water came from here, from the springs, went to that city. Remember, we are talking about rich place. And look at that, you can still see water here. Those are the mikvahs. The entrance, you have to climb up. Okay, why not? And then to walk to enter to your house. There's a wonderful mosaic beneath that building. And look at that mikveh there. Almost fell. Look at the mikveh here. Full with water. And this is the uniqueness of those mikvehs. The water is from here, always have water. And if they wanted to clean it, they have to pump it out. It is another mikveh. And a few minutes ago, there was something who tried to do that. You can see a canal takes the water to the sea. Then beautiful, isn't it? I love that place. I think it's one of the most important places for every Jew and every Christian to visit in the Sea of Galilee. Gosh, guys, it's hot. It's supposed to be nice. Where's the rain? We don't have rain now. And now we know a lot about that place. One more thing. 66 AD, Josephus Flavius built walls here. We saw part of it. It was only the base, of course. He built wall here, all over. He didn't build wall at the sea. The Romans decided to conquer that city, and they went all the way to the sea and they entered to the city from there. A lot of the Jews took their boats and ran away into the Sea of Galilee. The Romans built rafts and killed them all. Josephus Flavius told us that the sea was covered with blood, and the rest that were captured went through that road that you see to Tiberias, which is like, let's say, 20 minutes walking to the south. And Tiberias was a Roman city. In that case, that is the end of that place. At the description, you will find one more thing. It's called a link for Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to support me, mainly because I'm not working for 2 years because of COVID-19, I will be more than happy. That is one of the reasons that I could rent a car and reach that place, because there's no other option. Then I hope that you enjoyed that video, and hallelujah for that. Then see you in my next video. Bye bye.